All right, we're gonna build one of these collapsible trees. Let me light it up for us. I just have this little battery powered controller on it right now, just so you can see what it looks like. When it's in the display, it will be connected to an actual controller connected to X-lights. But just for testing purposes, I put a little battery powered controller on it. So what we have is a collapsible tree. The legs that the lights are clipped to are just garden stakes that you can get at Menards or Home Depot or other garden supply store or big home improvement store. The hubs, there's a hub here and a hub at the top. They're both different, but they're 3D printed. The clips holding on the lights are 3D printed. You could use zip ties or cable ties. I do have some nylon covered cabling that runs through the hubs, and those go through the PVC and the garden stakes. So you do have to drill some holes. Everything else is 3D printed or it's little hardware. I'll go through all the parts in more detail, but it's really cool. It collapses. So one person suggested that I make it collapse, the hub go down so that it can collapse further. And that's pretty much as small as it's going to get. So you could, for storage, you could, put a bungee cord around that or just tighten the hub at the bottom and then it'll pretty much stay like that. But to help prevent any of the 3D printed parts from breaking, I would recommend maybe just wrapping it with a bungee cord, or when you carry it, you can grip it like this. It has 11 legs, and these things, when I bought them, they were like $2 a piece. So after you 3D print stuff, buy some cabling, buy some PVC, it's actually a really affordable build. Most of your money is going to be spent on lights, which is where we want to spend our money. So, to set it up, you kind of spread it out a little bit on its own, loosen the hub at the bottom, and you lift it up. And that's fully assembled. You just tighten this hub. And then if you're adding it to your display, you plug in your controller. Right now it's just running off of 8 AA batteries. I'm using 12-volt lights. So that's basically it. So let's get into our build. Okay, we're on our way downstairs, but we're gonna need this. You guys need to ignore the mess down here. There's one of my deer. And another one for next year. Here's some of my other Christmas stuff that hasn't been put away yet. There's one of the matrices that it's a matrix. Is it matrix? And then plural is matrices? There's 2 of them there. I hung those on the windows. I'm building more over here. I'm building a big one. It's going to be 4 panels wide. There's the tree we just saw. Okay, we have our garden stakes all laid out. These are the 7-foot variety. 7-foot garden stake. This container, I have all the clips. This is what's holding the lights to the garden stake. Here is the top hub. And it has a cable already running through it, but to build, I just put it through there to measure it and then cut it. There is the bottom hub. And here, let me flip it over. So it tightens onto the PVC with a thumb screw. And that's how all the hinges tighten as well. But each hub has a thumb screw. And then here are the hinges. So it's a 2-piece 3D printed. Here, let me set it down. It's 2 pieces 3D printed. It has thumb screw with a little hex nut inside that when you tighten it, it clamps down onto the post. So one side goes on the garden stake, but you're gonna need 11 of those, and then the hardware, and I'll link the sizes to the hardware. I think they're all 8-32 for sizes, but I'll put a link to the stuff I use. Look in the comments. Oh, here's the little controller I use. So it's just you can run 5 to 24 volts on this thing. I'm running 12 volts. So I got a 12 volt battery pack. So it just has 8 AA batteries in there. And then it comes with a remote. And there's different modes, and you can change brightness and speed and all that good stuff. I've made other projects where I use that, but it's good for testing. I know this isn't the industry standard, but when I started there wasn't an industry standard, so I use these little connectors. But you can use whatever connectors you want because you're going to be building it. So you'll need 2 of these, one for each hub. It's after you have the cable run through, this just screws down with those nuts and holds the cable tight. And those are pretty easy to work with as well. So overall, it's an easy build, so let's get into it. All right, so what you're looking at now is a 2x4. And attached to the 2x4 is this little jig. You don't need this, but it makes getting all the holes exactly where you want them easier. So let's grab a garden stake. This jig has 2 holes in it, one for the garden stake and one for the PVC. The reason it's angled is because when I first printed the jig, I printed it flat, and then when I was drilling, it actually broke. So I decided to print it at an angle like this. So I just made this part flat to the print bed. So then it should give it some more strength. But I haven't used it yet, so hopefully I won't break anything. So let's drill one of these. If you're right-handed or left-handed, it could determine which way you want to face it. I'm sure you guys are all bright enough to figure that out. I would probably switch it since I'm right-handed. But since it's on camera, I'm just going to reach over and do it this way. So I'm grabbing the 2x4 and kind of holding the rod. All right, something cracked. I don't know what that was. I'm going to drill some more because now it's stuck in there. Oh, the drill broke. Who breaks a drill? Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, the 3D printed part is in there, but there is a drill stuck in this. Check that out. I guess I need a new drill bit. Okay, this was not planned, but you may want to have a spare drill bit on hand in case your drill breaks. So I'll put this back in there. Whenever you're screwing 3D printed parts down, don't over tighten because you may break your 3D print. All right, this is garbage. Let's toss it and then get a new drill bit. Let's try this one. Tighten. All right, so feed that in. Grab a hold of it. All right, second one worked just fine. Maybe before you stick a post through, drill down into the wood just a little bit, so then when it goes through, stuff doesn't get bound up and you break your drill bit. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these to 14 inches. And we need 11 of those. You don't have to make them 14 inches. That's just worked for how I liked. All right, one down. Two down. Three down. I might have to go get another one. All right, we have 5. I'm definitely gonna need another piece of PVC. 6. I'll have enough for 7 down here, and then I have to go out to the garage. All right, 3, 6, 7. This is the one I'm using to measure. I'll leave that to the side. Okay, now we're gonna put together, this is the bigger of the two hubs, goes on the bottom. And so what we're gonna do is pull that cable out, and the bottom hub gets the PVC. So what you need to do is just start feeding it through. This is the part that can get a little frustrating, because you need to feed it through all these holes. So, but with a little patience, you can get them through. Oh, see, I just pulled it out. The first few are the easiest. Once it gets most of the way around, that's when it gets a little tough. Especially if you do it like I'm doing it and the PVC is adding weight to the whole thing. So I'm pushing the cable with one hand and lining it up with the other. I came up with this idea to use the cable instead of hinges because my first design I was 3D printing a lot more parts. And I thought if I ran a cable through it, it would be a nice smooth hinge and it's not going to break. The only thing that might break is the hub if you get a lot of side-to-side force. If you twist them, or if you have kids that walk by and they kick it, if they kick one of these, then it may break one of these, one of the little fins. But I tried to make it strong. It's a fine line between making it compact and making it strong and lightweight. Try to achieve all of those things, but you got to pay the price somewhere. They're pretty durable though. And the nice thing is, if you have the files, you can reprint them. But if you don't have a 3D printer, find someone who does, or we can ship some prints to you. Actually, I already talked to Mark. He might be willing to sell them on his website. Alright, so the cable is through. That's all there is to it. All you have to do now is put this thing on. I'm going to find a bigger table to do that. Either that or I need to sell all my bourbon. I'm not going to do that though. May give some of it to friends, family. Alright, so put this together, and then you put the nuts back on, and then your hub is complete. So to tighten these, you just need a you can get a little handheld hex nut tightener, a ratchet. I think I have a screwdriver that might be just the right size. Let's see. Is that the right size? I wonder if do I even need the end on it? That's hex shaped. Oh, just too small. Does this fit on there? Yeah, that'll work. Alright, we'll tighten it this way. This is a 7mm. It's the ones I have. $7mm hex nut and a 7mm driver. Alright, that's not going anywhere. So that hub is complete. Now we just do the same thing with the top hub for the garden posts, and then we have to add the hinges, and I'll show you how to add the hinges too. Alright, now we're going to do the top hub. It's the same idea, but the posts are longer and the hub is smaller. So figure out which way you want to start. But you stick these guys in. The top hub, I think, is probably going to be harder to put together than the bottom hub. I think it's a tighter tolerance, maybe. I don't know. It's going. It's through. We're through. All right. Now we just need to bolt this one together. Put this cable lock on there. I don't know what the actual term of this is. Cable lock sounds good. All right, that is done. The next part is the hinges, and I'm gonna set this on the foosball table to do that. All right, I have my hinges. They're ready to go. So we're gonna slide these on, and then we're gonna attach the center hub. Now, I like to put them all on the same way. So I'm doing print bed side down. It doesn't really matter, I'm just picky. I hear one of my kids coming down the stairs. Is that you, Thomas? Thomas, are you coming to help me?
Yes.
You are? What do you have?
This is a parachute.
It's a parachute. It looks like a giraffe. Is that a giraffe?
It's on a parachute.
Are you going to help me?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to put this on here. You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Push it on. We have to give it a little wiggle to get past the tag. I could take the tags off, but...
Yeah, I did.
You did it. Good job. You want to do another one?
How do you do this one?
That's for a different project. I'll do that in a different video. That's for a frame. Oops. Can you grab the tape measure?
Yep. Simple excavator.
Excavator? Did you just turn into an excavator to pick up the tape measure?
Yeah.
Can you put it on the counter next to the screwdriver and the drill? Excavator. Okay, what are you now?
I'm a human.
You're a human?
Yep. And that's the drill.
That's a vacuum cleaner.
So it rains around the room.
Yep.
Can't turn it
Uh-oh. Oh no, I put them on the right way.
It's going slow.
I was trying to do them all the same.
Well, what
Oh, that is to help me get parts off of the print bed, off of the 3D printer.
I know.
You know?
The graph is eating this.
The giraffe? I thought it was a parachute.
Oh, sorry. It's happening both.
It's both?
And now he's on a parachute.
All right, I am almost done putting the hinges on.
No, this is a fish.
It's a fish? What sound does a fish make?
No, nothing.
The fish doesn't make any noise?
No. It's this one. It's me. Maybe I can be a fish.
And don't play the drums now, though. I'm making a video. You're gonna be a fish?
Now, change to a diet octopus.
All right, last one.
Octopus searching my place.
Okay, we're recording again. I lost you there for a few minutes. Okay, so we are attaching all of these. Once you figure out where you want the hinges, you can go ahead and set them all to the right height. All right, there we have it. Now I'm going to replace this with a longer one. Now if you wanted to have it fold up, what you're going to do is flip all of these hinges on the PVC. So instead of it being up like this, you're going to put them down. And then to fold it, you just lift up the hub and it folds. But if you want it to fold down, you just switch the hub. Or I mean, you switch the direction of the hinge on the PVC. All right. But this one folds down. I just need a longer PVC piece so it can fold all the way. Right now it's stopping. All right, so that is the main construction. The last thing you're going to do is stick your lights on them. Now these clips, I wanted them to hold tight, so they do just snap on there. You can move them a little bit when there's no lights being held, but they should hold a lot stiffer once you have those lights going through there. But they just clip on. Here, let me get some lights so it doesn't look like they're loose. Okay, I have some extra lights here. Just to show how this works. I would start at one side and work my way around. You guys probably know that already. So let's do that. So we'll do it on this side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 80 lights on each of these. I'm going to start with a clip on the top to hold this one in place. But we're going to double them up. Oops. Make sure you don't drop the lights. And make sure you're putting them on the right direction. Data is flowing that way. These lights are good because the direction of data is, these wires are marked, which is nice. Okay, so now it slides a little bit with the one light, but it gets more stable with two strands of lights on there. Now here's the tough part, and I forgot about this part, is going through the hinge. I may need to redesign the hinge, because right now I don't think this, oh yeah, it does pass through. Well, never mind. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, feed it through. Line it up all the way down. And I am going to do it like this. I'm going to have two lights sticking out the bottom of the bottom clip. And I'll put the clip in between the two lights. All right. So now that's held in place. I'm going to feed this through. Come on, get through. How come that one fit? Oh, because I loosened it. That's why. So pull that through and then tighten it down. Oh, and look at that. Would you look at that? I'm not hiding any of the lights. This light is just below and that one's just above. All right, so now you're gonna pop off this top clip. Pick it back up. You could just use another clip. There we go. Okay, that's just 2 clips, but if you want to make sure all the lights are facing the right direction, just add clips where you need them. Make sure they're not flipped. That's pretty much it. So you're just gonna make your lights look nice and light it up. Now I didn't count, but if you counted 40 and 40, then just move on to the next one. And I would get out a whole new spool, unless you're just using up scrap lights, but then you have to make connections and all that good stuff. All right, so add your lights. That's it.